What's up, guys? Greggy Fresh.
Jimbo Slice.
Welcome to Never Eat Soggy Waffles. Today, our first video podcast, so this is for your viewing pleasure.
Video podcast, yeah.
So we're gonna get right into our beer tasting. This is Saranac's Caramel Porter. Since in Jersey here, it did start getting a little cold.
Finally, a little bit.
Yeah, so we're trying to get into the winter beers a little bit.
Winter spirit here.
So let's get into it.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh yeah.
It's thick. It's nice.
It's really heavy, but I really like it.
I almost don't taste too much of the caramel, even on the aftertaste. It just almost is like smooth.
I almost taste the caramel just shortly, like right at the tip, and then once you start drinking it, it's like kind of just chocolatey. Mm. But it's lighter than any other porter I've had, though. To be honest with you.
Yeah, still has more of a fizz going on than the average porter. It's not
So
it's not quite that chocolate milk that you get with like a Guinness or something like that. But it's I guess that's more of a stout. But
I do like it though.
Yeah.
So out of 10, I'm gonna go. I'll do a 7.
Yeah, I'll go 7.5. Something, but it's around that area.
All right. So the overall status is 7.5 on the Saranac Caramel Porter. So get you some. So Never Eat Soggy Waffles approved.
It's approved. Yeah.
Cheers. All right. So last time we talked to you guys, UFC 217 was coming up.
It was about to happen.
We watched it together. We tried putting up a little post. We had technical difficulties. So this is where we're sitting right now.
We didn't have Nicky Smalls over here producing for us still. We brought him in, and we didn't get him in on that one, so it didn't go so well. We have basic technology till he comes around.
Yeah. I feel sorry for anybody who did not purchase this card.
It was a good card.
3 title changes.
Card. Yeah, absolutely.
We could start with Joanna losing her belt to Thug Rose.
Got destroyed by little 11.
It was pretty crazy. She came out there and right off the bat, she didn't look herself.
No, not at all.
Rose looked composed as she did already for the past couple weeks.
Yeah, she was ready.
I remember Joe Rogan was saying when they were weighing in and they were doing the face-off, and Joanna saying all this crap like "I'll take your soul," and she was repeating the Lord's Prayer.
Yep.
Like that's insane. So you got to be wondering like what's going on in her head.
She had a great post-fight interview. Rose. She was just everybody love each other. You know what I mean? It was so happy.
Yeah, she said, "Of course we come out here and fight, but why can't everyone just be good to each other?"
It's mostly entertainment what they're doing. So it was that was good.
It was a good fight. It was sad to see Joanna not break Ronda's record because I want to see a UFC without Ronda Rousey anymore. Like, instead of everybody focusing on Ronda's record, Ronda this, Ronda that. Well, I wish it was kind of somebody else's at this point. Because
I can absolutely agree to that.
She's kind of. I'll never. Like, I like what she did for the sport, but her name is stained here forever. And it's like, come on, let's get past it.
You got to figure. I think, especially since someone already got so close, I think someone will probably do it. And now you get to follow someone else's journey. You know what I mean? Like, you get to follow. Maybe Rose will do the title defense, right? You know what I mean? Like, so you get another avenue to start traveling up, and it could be exciting. You know what I mean? So
it was
positive thinking, glass half full stuff on that.
I think that'll be an immediate rematch.
Probably.
I think so. I mean,
and deservedly so.
Yeah, she almost broke Ronda's record. I mean, why do you not give her a rematch?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, even though she got
beat up. She got beat up.
Yeah,
Rose came out and
so
start to finish.
Congratulations, Thug Rose. Next on the card was TJ Dillashaw, Cody Garbrandt. A lot of heat leading up to this. If anybody knows about the whole Team Alpha Male and TJ separating from them and whatnot. So there was a lot of heat going into this. At the end of the first, though, when Cody hit TJ with that combo and dropped him, and then the bell rang, I think 5 more seconds he's putting him away. A lot of people disagree with me. But
I saw it. I think it was going to go that way. Yeah.
But then
saved by the bell.
Cody was cocky a little bit second round. TJ looked really confident. He got his legs back, shook the cobwebs, and he was throwing incredible combos, and he threw a leg kick, and he threw a leg kick, and then he came back up with that left, and it was like, see you later.
Good night.
Eyes rolled back.
Good night.
At first, I thought it was early because Cody reached in for the leg, but then I rewatched it, and there was no way. He should have been stopped. So that's interesting because now it's like, do you give him a rematch? He only won the belt, and then you just lost it to TJ. But TJ had lost to Cruz. Cody had beat Cruz. Cruz isn't fighting Jimmy Rivera now. He got hurt.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Jimmy Rivera is out of the fight now. On the same note on that, just real quick, Frankie Edgar is out of his fight with Max Holloway for the title due to a facial injury. Jose Aldo is stepping in.
Should still be an interesting fight then. Okay.
But back to bantamweight. I'm not sure what's going to happen there because you got. So it's TJ Dillashaw right now ranked, Cody Garbrandt, Dominic Cruz, Rafael Sunsao, who just fought the other night and had an outstanding performance. He knocked out. I don't know the guy's name. But he knocked him out and he looked phenomenal. Jimmy Rivera was supposed to fight is next. He was supposed to fight Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz is out, and then John Lineker is down there.
I feel like they're just gonna have a couple of contenders go against each other until everybody gets healthy.
If you remember, after TJ won, he said he wants to go down to flyweight and fight Demetrius and try to break his record.
That would be a phenomenal fight.
I don't see Demetrius wanting to take that fight.
Not particularly, but I feel like he will. He's not going to want to, but I feel like he'll do it.
I'm not sure, but I guess we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. I don't think he's going to take that fight. That's a little sketchy for him. That's his most dangerous opponent. I mean, he's beaten Joseph Benavidez twice, I believe. He's beaten Cejudo. He's beaten Ray Borg. He hasn't fought Sergio Pettis yet. But that's about that. I mean, after that, Jesus.
Yeah,
he beat Wilson Race. Yeah, I mean,
Mighty Mouse has been killing it. It is about time for him.
He's got the record. So.
It is about time for him to start looking now. At that point in his career, that's when you start looking for super fights. Once you've already proved yourself a million times over, then you look for the super fights.
He had said he wanted to set the bar.
I could see him doing that.
He said he wanted to set the bar in defenses so high that nobody will ever touch it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
so he's like, I'm at 10. Why don't I go to 15?
Yeah. So it's a pretty high bar already.
So we'll see. And then finally, the main event, awesome, the return of GSP.
It was fantastic.
Putting on a performance. Against Michael Bisping.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good brawl. It was a good brawl for a couple of rounds. GSP looked mostly in control. I would have given him the first round or two, and but then that third round happened. Man, it was interesting.
He brutalized him.
He beat him up at the end.
It was bad.
Yeah, I am personally a little mad at the ref. I went back and counted, and now I understand the whole champion's second breath type of deal. You know what I mean? Like the champion's advantage. Champion's advantage, yeah. But I went back and counted, and it was 25 strikes. 25 strikes. The first 12 being elbows, where essentially Bisping was already knocked out and just had his arm up like that out of muscle memory and habit. And they were unanswered. He was down. And then even after that, they didn't call the fight. And St. Pierre kind of looked like, what's going on? And he spun his legs, he spun Bisping's legs out of the way and went back and choked him. And they waited until his arm fell because his arm was still blocking strikes that weren't coming out. You know what I mean?
Bisping is tough as nails.
He is, but that wasn't safe. That wasn't safe. I don't agree with how that went down.
I understand, and we did have arguments about this for a week.
We did.
But like I said to you the other day, nobody else is talking about it.
I know, which is that's crazy to me. Especially with, what was that earlier fight? I think it was the first fight on the actual pay-per-view. They called a knockout while someone was going for a shot.
Oh, that was Johnny Hendricks. But
he was still moving and actually grabbing at legs at least, and the guy was just sitting there, even when strikes weren't coming, and he was sitting there. I don't know. That was pretty bad.
Well, that's that.
The dichotomy of those decisions is pretty mind blowing to me.
So now it's like, what's gonna happen is Whitaker, because Whitaker is the interim champion, but he was hurt. So is GSP gonna fight Whitaker? People are saying they're hearing from GSP's camp that he's either gonna fight Woodley for the belt down there again, or he's not gonna fight at all. He's done.
I think he'll at least fight another time or two. I don't think
he wants to go down. He doesn't want to be at this middleweight division. But so GSP hasn't fought 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years it was.
Comes back, beats Michael Bisping,
who had turned into one of the best fighters
at a different weight, and so now the pound for pound rankings came out like yesterday, And Demetrius Johnson's still number 1 pound for pound because, I mean, his defense record right now is great. But GSP number 2 knocks off Conor McGregor, puts Conor McGregor at 3.
I like it.
So
I like it.
What you have to say, I'd agree with. But a lot of this Conor McGregor stuff, apparently they're mad at him because he was at a Bellator fight and his teammate won. He ran to the cage. He got into an argument with the ref. It's too much drama.
Yeah, I agree. I especially like George St. Pierre being over him because he has won multiple titles and for the most part defended them. He has proven himself throughout a long career, and he came back and proved himself that he still has the longevity. And Conor McGregor, as good as he is, he has lost a couple times recently. He has never defended a title, and he's a troublemaker. And I mean, I understand that you rank him pretty high, but I'm glad to see someone else besides Demetrius getting ranked above him at this point.
Yeah. So I'd agree with all this. What is cool about these rankings, right? They go up to 15 for the pound for pound. Number 10 is Chris Cyborg. So there's a female in the top 10.
There you go.
Then number 15 is Joanna Young Jacek.
There you go.
So there's 2 females in the top 10 pound for pound,
but
which is
now
crazy.
Rose,
When do you see that? That's
no, you
awesome.
don't usually see that. But where's Rose on there?
That's the thing. But I think, Amanda Nunes is on there too at 12.
There's 3. There you go.
Oh, I don't like.
See, Rose should be on there too. She's probably 16 or 17.
Well, no, because Rose has lost. You know what I mean? She beat her.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
The streak she's on. Every fighter's got their. Every fighter has a chance.
It's true.
Any given day.
If you are a professional, yeah.
So, we'll wrap that up at the UFC. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Oh, just real quick, Bellator announced they're going to do a heavyweight tournament.
Interesting.
For the belt. And in the first round, Frank Mir, who's a legend, and Fedor, a legend, they're going to fight each other in the first
round. Wow.
Yeah, which is really cool.
That should be an interesting tournament.
Yeah, and Frank Mir said something that kind of made me angry. He was like, "Oh, I can't." He's like, "Maybe I'll go and I'll do like a full camp again. Like I'll do a fight again." So it makes you think. Your last couple fights, you just weren't even trying. You weren't committed.
Been, just his morning workout and just whatever. I'll fight him. like.
So yeah, but I think that's gonna be cool. That's some passing.
I mean, Bellator, especially with those guys,
it's trying to become WWE. There's like,
but at least they're taking the whole league in that direction. They know they're the second tier fighting league, at least in this half of the world. You know, and they're taking the whole league in that direction. They have these silly Frank Shamrock versus or Ken Shamrock versus Kimbo Slice back in the day or whatever.
And they actually,
they do silly things like that, but it's as a league together. You know what I mean? And it's not just one person taking it over. So it's a whole different animal down in Bellator. They're doing what they have to do to stay relevant, and they get the old legends, the new up and comers that are getting overlooked, and that's their gimmick. That's what they do, and. If that's how you want to take the whole league and everyone's going to agree to be in that atmosphere, that's one thing.
Well, all these people from UFC are going there because now they could, because there's no restriction on your advertisements, on your banners, and on your trunks and all that. So they're going there to get these endorsement deals.
Yeah, like I said, Bellator is going to cut all the corners, and they're going to.
Rory McDonald went over there, and I think he's going to he'll be champion. Neil Magny, I think, is over there. Is it Neil Magny? Yeah, there's a bunch of guys that are over there.
Yeah,
now,
there's a lot of people went over there.
But that's it for fighting. We just wanted to close in on 217 since we weren't here for you guys.
The other big thing in the big once in a while event in sports was the marathon was recently, the New York City Marathon, and they had some. That was on the 5th, so it must have been right.
Was that
right? A couple days after we last recorded, right? Recorded early last. Yeah. So, but yeah, that was.
The New York.
That was New York Marathon.
Yes.
Yeah. They had the Boston like a month or so ago, but this was the New York Marathon.
I heard something that USA finally, took the championship.
Shalane Flanagan out of Colorado. She actually won the women's race with a time of 2 hours, 26 minutes, and 53 seconds.
Do you have that comparable to anything else?
Not the other records in the marathon, but I know that she does hold records in a lot of other things. She holds American records in the 300 meters, 3,000. I'm sorry, meters, 5,000 meters, the 15,000. She took bronze at the 10,000 at the Olympics. So
really? She's an Olympic competitor.
Yeah, she's a known runner in long distance running circles. But she is the first American woman to win the New York City Marathon since 1977.
Oh hell yeah!
The marathon only even started in '74.
Oh, so, hell yeah.
I mean, it's been forever.
Cheers to, what is it?
Shalane Flanagan.
Cheers to her.
Shalane Flanagan. Cheers. And on the men's side, Jeffrey Kamworor. Kamworor, out of Kenya. He won with a time of 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 53 seconds.
So she's only 16 seconds behind her.
No, 16 minutes.
Oh, it was minutes. Yeah. Okay, I was trying to see what you
So
were.
it's 2 hours, 10 minutes, 53 seconds. She's about 16. Yeah, she's
They run the
exactly
same distance?
16 minutes. Yeah, it's 26 miles.
Okay.
26 miles in 2 hours is absurd. It takes me like 26 minutes for a mile nowadays. Maybe not that bad.
So
But
What do you got?
I found that in Australia, or someone from Australia had the course record of 2 hours, 24 minutes, and 40 seconds.
that's for women.
And that's for women.
Okay, so she was
She's only 2 minutes off the
She's
pace.
only 2 minutes off the world record. Yeah.
Off the world record.
There you go.
2 minutes off the world record, and she's from USA winning. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Nikki Smalls with some stats.
What I do?
All right. So and then Kenya, that seems about par for the course every year,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, hey, yeah,
that air's so thin out there. They run for
and that's
days.
their main sport out there. They have soccer and running.
I mean, so congratulations to
yeah,
them. It's great.
absolutely,
I mean, New
absolutely.
York Marathon, it's a great thing.
Yeah, so that was.
You see
that was a
people
cool
get
one.
together for these marathons more now, ever since the Boston Marathon thing. Now
Yeah,
people get behind each
absolutely.
other, and there's more pride behind it now. I feel,
For
so
sure,
it's good to see someone from the USA win. So
Absolutely.
Especially after the Boston.
yeah, that's what I said.
That's what we meant. Yeah, yep.
So that's cool. So all right,
Absolutely.
let's get into the main things since today is Tuesday
Yep.
and Monday Night Football was over last night.
Absolutely. Ruined
This
my fantasy chances this week.
yeah, I got destroyed.
Still in first,
Absolutely
though.
destroyed. But I think one of the big stories is how bad the Giants are.
They're bad.
Okay.
They're really
The Giants are
bad.
really bad,
I mean-
and this is everybody's qualm right now. Ben McAdoo comes out for the press conference,
Mhm.
and they're like, aren't you embarrassed? Why would I be embarrassed? Why embarrassed? And he just keeps saying, I got to look at the tape. I got to look at the tape. Why are you coach? You have to look at the tape to figure out how bad your secondary is
your
playing.
team's pretty
How
bad.
bad your
Yeah.
offensive line is.
I don't know. I watched half that game. I couldn't even stomach it, and they're not even my number one favorite team, really. And
Just-
it was bad.
Just a little shout out real quick. This is hilarious. So I was listening to the radio the other day, and all these people are dogging on McAdoo. Why can't he just act up at a press conference and be passionate, right? So there's
he could go to show some passion once in a while.
So there's this comedian from Jersey, Vic DiBitetto,
TikTok.
and he
Vic, yep.
and he does every game. He does it after before the locker room and
for
after in the
Giants, yep.
locker room. And this one's gonna be a little vulgar, guys, but you got to hear what he says because this is how McAdoo should feel.
It is. I'm sure it is.
What's going on here? I mean, what in the ever-loving cock-spewing, tit-fart, ass-bleeding bitch, nipple-shot nuts, pecker-snot, douchebaggery is fucking
Damn.
going on here? We lost 31-21 to a team that was 0-9. 0 and fucking 9. 0 and blow me 9. Teams that are 0 and 9 have dog dick breath. You know how you get dog dick breath? You put a fucking dog dick in your mouth. You lost to a team that puts dog dicks in their mouths.
I can't even drink this.
You know what movie this reminds me of? Fuck you, blow me.
So
Yeah.
that's a response everyone wants out of McAdoo.
I
it
mean, I
seems.
think McAdoo. That's one way for him to get out. He'll probably get fired. He gives a press conference like that.
Absolutely, but
I mean,
some
man.
more passion, I guess. Jesus
You know,
Christ.
the weird thing with McAdoo is that last year they were 11-5, and now they can't do anything. They won one game, and I don't even know how they. They look decent that one win. I don't know
Plus,
where
what's
that
his-
came from. But
Reese has got to go. I mean, you knew that Eli needs an offensive line, no matter what. He is a good quarterback. Eli's a very good quarterback, but he needs an offensive line because he needs pass protection.
At one point in the third quarter yesterday, I think they finally messed up and didn't even get a field goal. But I was looking that Eli has the best red zone stats in the NFL. He had a 131 quarterback rating in the red zone with 9 touchdowns and no interceptions, and they had a 100% scoring rate or something like that. But they could never get there. So they not at least not anywhere near often enough.
But it's like
once a game, not even. You know
you
what I mean?
knew
Like,
coming into this year that he's going to need protection, but yet you spend
Yeah.
$250 million on your defense.
Yep.
But you don't spend
protect the
anything on your
quarterback at
offensive
all.
line.
And
so
now
you
a
can
solid
you can
quarterback
keep
can't
your
do
team
anything.
in it as
Yeah.
long as you want until they're tired. If your offense ain't scoring points,
Yeah.
you're going to lose.
You're going to lose. And you can't, obviously that's what my point with all those stats was that he can still perform if you give him the tools to perform. He's getting old, yeah, but he knows what to do, you know, and they're not giving that to him, like you're saying. They're not protecting him at all, and the talented wide receivers they bring in are these boisterous young kids that can't focus, you know what I mean? And it's
but there's
just
some
not
kids who are
helping
showing
them
up.
at all.
Ingram, that kid is showing up.
Absolutely,
Sterling Shepard is showing up.
Sterling, whenever I
But then you got
knock the general Giants receiving core, Sterling Shepard is
never part
not
of it.
part of
He's
it.
great.
Let's be serious.
And that kid
He
Ingram's
is
great
Sterling.
too. But then you go to the secondary on defense, and you got Jenkins, who literally gave up, did not play on purpose, pretty much. Like, said, I'm cutting ties with the team pretty much. I'm out.
That reminds me, a kind of offshoot here. Have you heard this stuff about Martellus Bennett, what they're trying to say about him?
I have not.
So, basically, Martellus Bennett wound up injured and then back on the Patriots after going to, Green Bay or something like that?
Martellus Bennett?
And
yes,
then,
he was the
to Green
tight
Bay,
end.
and then all of a sudden he got hurt, and now he's back on the Patriots because they traded him, and now he's magically okay again. He's miraculously brand new, good to go. And everyone's like, did you really just fake an injury to get traded to go to the Patriots?
I mean,
like,
that is what it is.
It's funny. It's a funny situation because it's crazy. It's
a little weird.
causing some internet
NFL
conspiracy theories.
This
You know,
year. It's just
it's a weird year. It's definitely a strange year.
All right, so like if you want to look, I got the standings right here. In the NFC East, we were talking about the Giants, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eagles are 8-1. That kid Carson Wentz is the real deal, I think.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are 5-4, but now the Zekeless Cowboys don't look the same anymore because when you can't threaten with the run, Dak can't sit there and pass the ball.
Not at all.
And it's not good. Redskins 4-5. Giants are 1-8. That's horrendous.
I think the Redskins will be the second best team by when it's all said and done. Yeah.
The NFC, oh my God, there's some good teams.
The Rams
are 7-2.
Solid.
Seahawks 6-3.
Solid.
Cardinals are 4-5. But I mean, if you look at the NFC East, I mean, the third, it's the same thing. The NFC North, the Vikings 7-2, and they look great.
Look good.
And Bridgewater's ready to play.
Yeah, one of my friends is a big Vikings fan. He's excited.
I personally just never liked Teddy Bridgewater because we're diehard Rutgers fans, and he beat us in that game, Louisville Rutgers. But the Lions are 5-4, but the Lions are good.
Lions are solid.
I really like the Lions. Packers 5-4, Bears 3-6. Mitch Trubisky is not impressing me this year.
No, but he doesn't have much to work with.
They're not really giving him.
They're
anything.
not really giving.
They're just kind of like.
He's not exactly looking great, but he's not.
This bottle opener's terrible.
He looks like he should be in the pros, but he's not going to be a good pro. You know, it's the 32nd best team in the league still needs a quarterback. And they still need a
the thing is, this kid probably still needs development. I mean, in North Carolina, he played 15 games ever.
And one of them, he got trashed by good old RU in the was it the Quick Lane Bowl?
It might have been the Quick Lane.
Yeah, it was definitely the Quick Lane.
And then
First
the
year in
NFC
Big
South,
Ten.
the Saints 7-2, Panthers 7-3, Falcons 5-4, but who are still scary. The Buccaneers 3-6, who beat my Jets because the Jets did exactly what the Giants did and played defense all day, but couldn't even put the offense on the field. So the NFC looks good because
Jets are always in there in every game. They could easily be 6-4 instead of 4-6 if a couple of games just swung a few plays here and there. They're not
Jets,
anywhere near as bad as the Giants.
No,
not even close.
And the thing is, it's last year I had this feeling that the Jets didn't even want to play for their coach. Like it did this year. It seems like they want to play for him, and they got these young kids, and I think our receiving core in a couple years is going to be good. Robbie Anderson, Curse, Curly. I mean, who's suspended right now, or PD? It's weird to me, but they look good. What's his name? Hanson's going to get more touches. I think the receiving core is going to be good if we can get a good quarterback. But us having this mediocre season is putting us higher on the draft list.
Yeah.
So instead of getting us first Sam Darnold or Josh Rosen, puts us more in a Baker Mayfield situation, which is scary.
Mayfield wouldn't be bad.
No, which wouldn't be bad. But the thing is, he's a spread quarterback in college. Quarterbacks in college do not last well in the NFL because it's hard for them to change their system.
I would say that.
That's a Petty was, correct?
What?
Petty was a spread quarterback, and
yeah. He was. Petty came from Baylor. They just toss everywhere, throw the ball. But I would say, when there's a decent quarterback class coming out this year. I am not. Again, they're my two favorite quarterbacks.
I think Sam Darnold is going to be a giant.
It's possible. Yeah. My two favorite quarterbacks in this draft class, personally.
Oh yeah, if the Jets could get, I know your guy.
They're J.T. Barrett and Jake Browning.
Well, I like Jake Browning.
Jake Browning's Ohio State and Washington. Jake Browning, I've been singing his praises for a long time. He is mature. He's a professional already, basically, and he's they're having a good year. They lost a couple games, but Washington is still up there in the top 25, 8-2 or 9-2 or something like that.
But also, it's the 49ers pick up Garoppolo, so that puts them probably out of the question for getting.
Yeah, you don't know if because they can't be looking to save the rest of this year, right?
No, they're not.
1-9. I mean, so
well, like they said that's what he said. The owner came out and said we didn't bring him here to save our season. We brought him here to better our organization.
Yeah, so they're looking for him for the future, you'd assume.
And this kid's ready. You got to learn that system, but the kid's game tested.
He'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. You just hope he's not like a Matt Castle who looked game ready when he played for the Patriots, goes to another team and doesn't look that good.
Right, but then he came back. He came back and had a little bit of a career for himself. He made his money.
Yeah. So the NFC looks great compared. AFC. Patriots always looking good, 7-2 in the East. In the West, Chiefs are leading 6-3. The North, Steelers 7-2. Steelers are just so scary with freaking Brown and Bell. AFC South. You know who's winning that division?
The Jacksonville Jaguars?
The Tennessee Titans.
Really?
Well, that's who they have. Just same record, 6-3.
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say, all right, but still,
Mariota's back.
There you go.
Titans. Mariota's back, and I always loved Mariota in college. I like him now. Titans. It's cool to watch him be that good.
It is definitely refreshing to see it not be the Colts all the time, and the Texans the only one that can kind of compete. It's nice to see the other two finally do something.
Real quick, something I heard about the Colts, because the Colts are at the bottom of the division at 3-7. This owner's a young owner, or not owner. Is he the GM? Whatever. He came in and said,
"Wait, for what team?"
The Colts.
Okay.
Came in, Luck's their quarterback.
Yeah.
But Luck keeps getting hurt. Mm-hmm. So it's like they're sitting him out. They get Jacoby Brissett, right? You let Jacoby Brissett play, who's really good, and you play hard and have a good, decent team around him.
Yeah.
Let him prove himself. Trade him.
Yeah.
Trade him for draft picks next year and build your team all over again. The guy's an absolute genius. His Brissett is playing good football. And they're only 3-7, but he's showing that, guess what? I can be a starter for a team, and I can be a somewhat franchise quarterback. He's still young.
A team like the Browns will be smart to do what the 49ers are trying to do with Garoppolo. Get someone like Brissett now so that they don't have to draft a quarterback, and they can draft protection for the quarterback, and they get that would be a smart way to go about it for the Browns. But the Browns being smart about the draft is
Browns are the best team in football with an 0-9 record.
Definitely, they are definitely the best 0-9.
I cannot believe. All right, two things I want to talk about really quick. The Browns looked so good against the Lions yesterday, and then just let it go. And because the stupid play, did they get down and they have no timeouts? They get down to the 1 yard line and they run a run play with the time running out, no timeouts, and the linemen of the Lions, you think they're going to get up? No, they're going to wait on their guys, and guess what? The time runs out. Deshaun Kaiser couldn't get, but then he looked good, and then Matt Stafford came back down and
did his
looked
Matt
good.
Stafford thing.
But what do you got? How many minutes?
2.
All right, cool.
1.5, 2.
All right, so we're gonna take a quick break real quick, just so we can all maybe use the rest or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're gonna come back with some NCAA stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, guys.
So we are back from break, and we're about to get into some college football. I figured since we already touched on Jake Browning a little bit, we'll start there. Stanford knocked off Washington in a pretty close game this weekend. Big shake-up for the Pack.
Did Browning still play well?
Let's find out.
I'm not sure what the score was.
He usually does.
This week for me was a little rough to watch some of the games. I went out. I took the ferry with my best friend, who's a veteran on Veterans Day, to go watch West Point play Army play Duke at West Point. All I can say about that is it's just crazy being there. It's so insane, it's so much fun. Army did win, which is really cool. They're having an awesome year. So if you can and ever get the chance to do it, I say do it.
So yeah, it looks like Browning didn't have his best game, but certainly didn't have the worst. He was 17 out of 23, 190 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions.
Wow, that is not Browning.
That's not Browning, but I mean, if that's the worst you're ever going to get out of them, and they only lost by about a touchdown to another pretty good team out of there, if that's your bad day for him, That's not a bad outlook for the future, you know. But
Stanford wasn't ranked.
No, but they probably will be.
They were
now,
probably like honorable mention, but where was
Washington?
Was like 9?
With 9, yeah.
Woo.
They're, so they were. Well, no, I think they're 9 now.
Okay.
No, they were 9.
They were
Stanford,
9, yeah.
But now they're 8.
That was a Friday night game, wasn't it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Now they're 8-2, and Stanford's 7-3 with a win over them. So
They'll go up.
They'll go up. So Stanford will probably be 25 or 20 or something like that.
Right on.
The other big one was Auburn knocked off Georgia, Georgia was number 1 and undefeated before that. So now Auburn sitting at number 10 or so.
But didn't they keep Georgia right there? Like, didn't
Auburn
they?
is 10.
Yeah, Georgia is still up high in the rankings. They have them at. I have the rankings up here.
Georgia's 1.
No, that was last week. Georgia is down to 7 now, and they have Auburn at 6. Now they have Alabama.
Yeah. So
back at number 1.
Okay. Yeah. So they just
So they
but they did knock Georgia off because of the quality of their wins. I
Yeah,
guess.
no, Georgia's still a top 10 team. Can get back in it with if they win the SEC or anything. If they Georgia knocks off Alabama, their only loss is to Auburn.
So before we get into the playoffs, that's tonight, right? Is the committee talking Tuesdays?
Yeah.
Okay, so
they'll
that's tonight.
Officially re-ranked. The AP
Right. So before we get
rankings
into
are out, and that's
where
what we're
they're
looking at for this year. Yeah.
What do you got on any other upsets? Because Miami won,
Miami slaughtered Notre Dame. It's not really an upset. They were both kind of top 10 teams.
Yeah.
The other big one was TCU and Oklahoma.
And TCU
and Oklahoma.
TCU won.
No,
right?
Oklahoma won 38-20.
That TCU's second loss too.
Yes.
But still, they
Again,
could be
both
in the
top
Big
10 teams.
They could be in the Big 12 championships.
They both still can because there's no divisions out there.
It wasn't a close game.
38-20, with no real points. So not really.
You would expect that to be a shootout team.
I'm looking. Oklahoma actually didn't score anything in the second half.
Oh, it was Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. So
They're both in the Big 12.
Where's Oklahoma State? Because Oklahoma
still Big 12.
See, that's the thing. Oklahoma State could take that over.
See, this is the weird part about the Big 12 is that despite the name, they only have 10 teams right now.
And this is the first year of the championship
And it's the first
game.
year of the championship game. They made some sort of a deal. This is why all the other conferences expanded out so that they could have these championship games. But the rules used to be that you need at least 12 teams, and most wanted to go to 14 and 16. The Big 12 was one of the bigger ones, but kind of right there with the Big East, and like you're big, but you're one of the worst ones of the big ones.
Okay.
So they kind of got poached, and now they only have 10 teams.
Yeah.
And somehow they have a conference championship game, but they don't have the divisions yet. They don't have. They just have one big conference. So whoever finishes number 1 and 2 play each other out of 10 teams instead of number 1 out of 6 or 7. So it's that'll be an interesting thing to see.
Because I think any of those teams can compete.
Yeah,
in that top 4.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, without their name and this being their first year with the championship game, they're going to get outnumbered.
Yeah.
Especially when that committee goes in there and talks.
The 38 seems to be the number of the week because a couple of big wins here for teams with number 38 with the 38 points scored. Wisconsin, the quiet team that's killing everybody. They're 10-0, number 8 in the nation, 7-0 in the Big Ten.
They're not getting
They just beat
up
on Iowa.
Are they at 10 because their quality of win?
They're going so high because they face Big Ten teams and they're still undefeated. Iowa. We can look up the rest of their schedule, but Iowa right now was sitting at number 20 and 6-3 before this game, having just
Wisconsin
knocked
worked
off
them, right?
Ohio State. Wisconsin beat them 38-14. Yeah,
and
Iowa had just absolutely trounced Ohio State. So Wisconsin is definitely looking good. They are almost assuredly going to be the Big Ten West representative in the championship game. And that's probably going to spell some trouble for either Sparty or the Buckeyes or Penn State.
That was this weekend, wasn't it? Michigan State, Ohio State?
Yes. And Ohio State trounced them 48-3.
And I had a feeling that was going to happen. And everyone's telling me, no, you know what? Michigan State's actually here to play. Everyone just counted them out, and they're here to play. And that's the thing. They were playing from behind at the time. So our high school wrestling coach, he always says, I don't want to be ranked. Because that's when we wrestle best. That's when we play the hardest because you're hungrier.
Yep.
And what happened was Michigan State, I think that's what happened. They were hungry. They were like, everyone's counting us out. Let's play hard.
Yeah.
And they played really hard. And then they were like, we're ranked. You know what? We're going to compete with Ohio State. And they went out there. We're ready to go. And Ohio State's like, boy, you ain't in our league today.
Yeah, not today. And, Ohio State they're having an interesting year. It's almost a down year for them, but they're 8-2 and still top 15.
But I like that. I like when they're You know, it's
some
not like
parity.
you know,
like
it's not
there's-
like Alabama just knocking it out of the park every year.
Well,
See you later. I mean,
yeah,
whatever.
Alabama is at number 1
But like
right now,
that's why I like the Big Ten. There's no question. It's just the Big Ten now.
Overall,
it is the Big
it's
Ten.
the Big
now.
Ten. It's
you know
overall
what I mean?
the most competitive.
See you,
league,
SEC. Thank
and it
God.
yeah,
go
and
away.
if you want to look at say these 2 lost teams out of the Big Ten, their 2 losses are to other top 15 teams out of the Big Ten. You know what I mean? So they're beating each other up, but they're still having good records and they're still showing a lot of chutzpah.
And I don't mean that SEC's
grease,
gone.
You know?
I didn't mean that
Of
by
course
saying that.
not,
But it's good to see that the Big Ten's.
The Big Ten's rounded out. The SEC's top heavy. You know what I mean? Their top teams, their Auburns and their Georgias and their Alabamas are gonna still whoop some ass. You know, but it's the Big Ten is just overall a solid league. Even their bottom feeders are starting to come alive. Or you know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
And it's interesting. It's definitely an interesting year in college football so far.
So, yeah, I mean, is there anybody you think that's going to jump into rankings? Like, I did go to West Point and Army they were an honorable mention last week. And they just beat Duke.
Army may scoot
was
to
it
25.
25,
yeah, they may scoot to 20. Let's find out.
You know, we're trying to see who was
they
honorable
play.
mention, who you think snuck in.
Yeah, let's find out who they play.
I think they already accepted a berth to the armed forces.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, because they were 6.
They haven't been in a while.
They were
usually Air Force.
They were 7-2 when I went and saw them, and so 8-2.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a hell of a year for Army. I mean, they beat the crap out of Air Force the week before.
They did.
Who's playing next?
Well, he's got it.
Look,
He's got it right here.
Army had 3 votes. They were sitting at 1, 2.
Oh, Iowa State, because Iowa State had a great year in upsetting the big dogs, and then when they actually
5, 6.
played in as a ranked team.
So Army was ranked about 30 to 35th. They're in there in the.
So they won't sneak in.
Also rans. I think their schedule. They're not in a conference. They don't really play too many big teams all the
was just
time.
curious,
Duke's probably
'cause
one of the
sometimes
biggest
it's
teams
cool
they
to
played all
see them
year. Oh, absolutely.
in there,
I
you know
got
what I mean?
yeah. And I'm sure that they will get. I'm sure they'll get some recognition.
So tonight is the committee meets, right? They'll
Yeah.
put the
For
top four.
official-
You know, Alabama will sit right there.
Yeah.
This
Miami's
is the
got to be
thing.
number 2. Still.
Miami,
They
right?
have-
Yeah,
the AP
okay.
has
But
that
Georgia
number 1 and
lost.
2, right? Yeah.
Auburn beat them. So you Ohio State
And
who?
I just actually got rid of it. The AP has it at.
It's kind of fun now to watch the committee, but I can't wait till they make it to. Like I said in the last podcast, I can't wait till they make it to 8.
Yeah, when they expand out the.
I think
the
they will.
playoffs
I
a
think
little
because the
bit.
contract's
I think
till
it's coming. I think it's coming.
2018.
Yeah,
I think is the
the current
is the four.
setup. Yeah,
is the contracts to that.
And now they could sign that again. They could drop it back to a national championship game only. They could do anything.
I think people like this, but the thing is, a lot of people hate
have.
this because they said a lot of people are losing the luster of actually watching the games and just waiting. You know, they want to know what's going to happen with the.
See, but that's just the casual fan. If you're actually paying attention, it makes all the games more important.
I agree. You can't.
So AP has Alabama, Miami, Oklahoma, Clemson, with Wisconsin knocking on the door at number 5, and
I
Auburn
forgot
right
about
behind
Clemson.
them. Yeah, Clemson's still 9-1, man, and they were in the national championship game the last 2 years in a row, right?
So this Big Ten championship game is going to be of huge importance. The Big 12 one probably is going to be big importance because Oklahoma's there. Where's Oklahoma State? 10,
Oklahoma
and
State
TCU is at
10,
11.
Yep.
Did they play each other yet? Whoever wins that game will probably play Oklahoma in the Big 12 game.
I would assume. Let's find out if they played each other yet.
But who knows?
See, that's the thing. The Big Ten is not even in that top 4 right now. But someone's going to win that championship game. Either Wisconsin is going to beat.
I think Wisconsin.
Sparty or
Wisconsin's right there. They're knocking on the
Buckeyes.
door at 5, 6.
5.
6.
They're right
Okay.
there. They're the next one up. So Wisconsin is right there. I think if they stay undefeated, they're going to be number 2 or 3.
Okay.
Depending on what Miami does the rest of the year in Alabama. But
I don't know what. I'm not sure if the Big Ten.
Oklahoma State lost to TCU earlier in the season. So that.
What was it?
So
Oklahoma
right now,
State
Big
lost to TCU.
Oklahoma State lost to TCU.
But did Oklahoma State play Oklahoma? Yeah, the Bedlam. And Oklahoma won.
Oklahoma won.
So that
it
means
should be
TCU, Oklahoma.
That's what it would be right now. The conference standings there. Oklahoma's at 6-1. TCU's at 5-2.
Sorry, we're harping
Oklahoma
on the
State's
Big
at
12,
5-2.
but this is the first championship year.
It's
interesting.
It's going to be an interesting year for them,
It's
and
really
they look
cool.
like they're going to play into the playoffs big time.
I
this
like
year,
the style
so.
of all the teams that play in the Big 12 too. Like it's
It's
always
very-
just run and
it's
gun.
run and gun. It's
just shootout games.
Yeah,
It's
shootouts.
fun.
Offense. All offense.
All right, so well, that's that for college. But the committee meets tonight, so we won't know anything until at least tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
next week we'll give you an
on the
update
officials. Yeah.
on that. But what was cool, you wanted to talk to me about something with
The Arena League. Yeah.
Arena.
So I was kind of wrong. I got one detail wrong. They are liking the idea of these double owners for now. They're locking these owners in, but they don't mind
Now,
one of the established owners helping the new team develop.
What owner owns two right now? The Tampa guy?
No, the Washington guy.
Okay.
So the Washington Valor owner also owns the Baltimore Brigade.
Okay.
And now he's going to look to get at least a halfway owner on the Brigade
Okay.
to help him out. And now this new Albany team that's coming around, they're officially announced they're in. They have their at least
So the
small
Albany
time.
team?
The Albany team.
Okay.
They're officially announced they're in. They're doing a team.
Where are they gonna play?
It's like the Times Union Arena.
Oh yeah.
It's
Okay.
where the Albany Devils just moved out of. And now, okay, so here's the thing: the Devils are interested in bringing a team to Newark, and they want these co-owners. And now the most recent team in the New York area was the New York Dragons, who had a black, orange, yellow, and red scheme.
Yes.
Right? And then the old team in Albany used to be the Firebirds. And they're voting between the Phoenix, the Fire, the Empire, and the Machine for their name up there. I believe
What is
either
it? What is it? Phoenix Empire.
Fire or Machine.
Is that kind of like the Machine?
The Machine's kind of cool, but considering that
But the Phoenix is really cool.
they're
I mean,
resurrecting the Firebirds, the Phoenix. You know what I mean? It
Which
makes
is
sense.
really
And
cool.
then
I
the
do like
Fire
the
could also
Phoenix.
kind of fit with that theme.
I have a Phoenix tattooed on my back.
Yeah. And now, so the Devils would make total sense to bring back the Dragons to Newark and to be the half and half help with the Albany team. But it's looking like the Philly Soul is actually going to help out Albany. So it's an interesting thing. And now there's also rumors that the Tampa owner is going to help bring back the Orlando Predators.
Which they were a big time name
That was
in
a big
Arena
time
when they were
rival
good.
too. Yeah, they were both big. They were both legends and big time rivals. The war on I-4 down there. So that should be interesting how they play out. But I was only incorrect in that they want steady owners and they're not minding having an established team help a newer team come around for a little while. So it's almost a lot of these steady owners have two teams, but they are locking owners in for long-term things, and they're developing slowly and properly now instead of getting excited too quickly.
Which I think is better in the long run.
It will
because
be. It will.
What happened was, like we talked about in that one podcast, that it seemed like they got a lot of gas behind them, and then all of a sudden it just like it got too big, too quick, and instead of using the tactics that we talked about to fill the stadium, they just said we're gonna put them in the stadiums and the game's gonna sell itself.
Yeah,
and it didn't.
And it did.
And what happened was the loyal
Not
fans were always there, but it couldn't. They weren't using. They weren't using the right stadiums, maybe, or arenas.
They weren't being smart. They were getting into two. They were good in their mid-card cities, like the Grand Rapids, the Des Moines, Iowa, the Orlando. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
and
they were
also,
good there.
Like I remember they would play. Like you wake up on at noon on like a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Noon. There was like an arena football game was on. You could watch that.
Yeah, on Channel 4.
Yeah,
you know,
Channel 4 exactly. It was great, and so
yeah, they got a little ahead of themselves.
I
think
hope
they're
they
trying
come
to
back
be
because
smart about it now.
Honestly, it's fun to go watch an arena football game.
It's
If
cheap,
you
fun,
ever get a chance to,
entertainment.
you should go do it.
Absolutely.
It's
Anyone
nothing like
watching
this
up in Albany,
garbage like
bring back the Firebirds.
nothing like the garbage lingerie football league and all that. Like even though those girls play hard,
they play
hit
hard and they're trying to get more.
But these guys were actually a lot of these guys were pros. Like
they
and
were.
played in the NFL. And like maybe they just weren't making it. They didn't want
got
the
an injury and got cut.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
They only played a few years
when
in the
Dragons
squad or something.
When the Dragons were good, they had some really good players.
They were good. They had
who was that one lineman? He was
Snowball.
He was great.
He was great on both sides of the ball. They used to have to play both ways, and now they changed it. They used to have to play. Everybody played both ways except for the quarterback and one other guy on offense and two guys on defense and the kicker, and everybody else on the team had to play both. Now it's reversed. Now those are the only ones that do play both ways, and everybody has a one-way assignment. Right. But still, it's still considering they only have 8 men on the field at a time per team. That's still a
Plus,
quarter
if you
of the
watch
team
it, don't get freaked
ways.
out. The wide receivers get a head start. They stay about like 4 yards back.
They're allowed
and then
to
they get a head start running.
Yeah,
it's really cool. It's really interesting.
So yeah, I hope I'm voting for the Phoenix. I'm voting for the Albany Phoenix. That makes the most sense with the team name that they're going for, and I'm still hoping on the Devils getting involved. That seems like it's something that's coming still. They're talking about more
So, but the
expansion.
league expansion will be how many teams?
8. I think they're trying to get to 8. I think they're trying to get to 8.
That's
for
the
next
start.
Year. Yeah, because they
You
were
can't
at 5. They
what
wanted to
happened
bring
was I
in-
think they got too big too quick. They had so many teams.
They
It was
had,
like
and the minor league was insane. They had about 50 teams at one point throughout between the major and the minor league. It was insane. They got too big for themselves.
okay,
They need to.
but
to
that
do
season's
smart.
over.
That season is over. Yeah. They start their spring ball, and then Canada starts about when they're ending. So if you watch all three, if you watch the NFL arena in Canada, you can circle throughout the year and still have Canada's about 3/4 of the way done their season. We'll probably touch on their playoffs in a few weeks.
Oh, Canada, yeah.
Canadian League, yeah.
Well, did you see? This is kind of a little off topic, but you know how the NFL they loosened up on the touchdown celebrations, and like they're getting into it. Canada. Let me see if I can find the video. I won't be able to probably show it on here. We'll probably be able to pull it up for you guys so you could actually see it on the screen. A Canada team did. You know how I think it was the Vikings did the leapfrog.
Yeah.
A Canada team did limbo. So a guy scored a touchdown, then 2 linemen came and they grabbed the guy by his hands and his arms, and then they held him up, and then the guy scored a touchdown.
Under him. That's awesome. That's funny.
A lot of people don't like this celebration stuff. What's your
Honestly,
thoughts on it?
I like it as long as it's.
It was the Ottawa Red Blacks.
There you go.
Okay.
That's the newest team actually. They put it to 9. They probably are going to expand to get to 10 soon and even out their divisions up there.
Okay.
But I like the celebrations as long as it's like a known thing that everyone's allowed to do it.
That's
if
my
you're
thing.
if you're not allowed to do it and then someone starts doing it, it's going to piss you off. But if it's a common thing and everybody's just having fun,
All right.
it can be a lot of fun. The arena used to harp on
This
that.
is
They did the spin the ball thing and they would
Yeah.
do all these different acts.
This is the thing. Do you restrict it to only touchdowns? Because I was talking to my father
I'd
yesterday,
say
right?
maybe big play, touchdowns,
And he was
big
like,
time interception.
The guy
or something.
caught like a slant pass, got the first down, but then he picked
Oh,
up the ball
that's-
and walked like 15 yards away, and dropped it, and then did that. Where the game actually had to wait. My dad's like, I'd be sitting there throwing a delay game.
Yeah,
like,
no, that type of stuff. Big plays, turnovers, and fumble
like yeah,
recoveries.
you got a first down. Like yeah.
I would say defensive turnovers and touchdowns and field goals maybe or something to win a game.
So
or
you-
something. Would that be my
Yeah, big
opinion.
plays. So I like it though. There's some good stuff. It seems like a lot of people like to say that Chad Johnson was the best in all his stuff and Terrell Owens, but now that these guys have free reign, it seems they're being topped in some of this.
Yeah. No, it'll be fun. I like I said, if it's a thing where everybody knows it's an allowed thing to do, I like it. If it's,
What was your favorite so far, if you can remember any?
I like what was the one with he did something with the field goal post. He started to do pull-ups on the field goal post or something.
Well, I know what's his name did. I think it was Randy Moss's. Stephon Diggs, I think, did Randy Moss's last week, where he just ran and just hugged the post and like jumped up on it.
Yeah.
That was Sunday.
That actually caused some heat because he went in doing a little airplane arms, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's imitating 9/11," and then he jumps on the pole, and it was again people going crazy. But
the
that actually
Jets
did get
always
some heat.
do that.
Hey, I'm just don't shoot the
and
messenger.
they're from New York.
Don't shoot the messenger.
So
they are at least the Jets, though. That does make sense for
yeah.
them.
So the bets, my favorite one, Golden Tate, he put the ball down and he did the people's elbow.
That's a good one.
Like
That's a
he
good one.
did, and it was.
I remember a lot of the old arena ones. They would have like they would spin the ball, and that was like the start of the thing, and they'd like warm their hands like it was by a fire, or they'd spin the ball, they'd do push-ups in front of it or something.
What movie was it when the guy took it like the gun and he shot them all and then he put it to his head and did it?
Yep.
You do that nowadays. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be an interesting decision.
Yeah, so
But yeah.
that's that on that part. So real quick, we're just take another quick break. We're gonna get ourselves another brew, use the
Sounds like a
restroom.
plan.
So we'll be right back.
And Never Eat Soggy Waffles is back.
What's up?
We are gonna hit some hockey now.
Absolutely.
Eastern Conference, my baby over here in the Eastern Conference that I follow. Like
Devils.
Devils are
Islanders.
killing it. Islanders are still in a playoff spot.
Who is this guy?
Goldfish are in Greggy's mouth. So In the East, it's pretty. The Metropolitan Division is absolutely crushing
They're awesome.
everything, and the Devils are leading that division, so it's pretty impressive. So now, just to put into perspective, we're looking at here at the NHL standings, and we have the top 3 from each division. For those of you who don't know, the way the NHL playoffs work now is that there's 2 divisions in each conference. The top 3 from each division make it, and the next 2 best in the conference period, make it as the wild cards.
Yes.
So, you have the 3 teams, and then Pittsburgh and the Islanders are hanging on to the wild card spots, both from the Metropolitan.
Yeah.
And then if you look down the rest of the standings, every team from the Metropolitan left is above every team from the Atlantic. It's absolutely insane. And the Devils are sitting there at 11-4-2. And there's some insane stats that the Devils are putting up. I have a list of them.
I mean, I'm super happy. Like, the best start in franchise
history, yeah.
They look great. These young kids are just playing.
So, last year, the Devils, and not their best season, we'll say,
No.
were only scoring 4 goals or more in a little less than 20% of their games. This year so far, out of 17 games, they've done it 10 times. That's 59%. That's incredible.
Yeah.
They are scoring on 25% of their power play tries, which is incredible.
Yes. I don't think they were that good in the power play last year.
They weren't. They have 7 goals in a couple of games already this season, which they haven't done on the road since 2008 at all. They haven't scored 7 goals on the road since 2008.
What's impressive,
And last year they did it once at home.
Their overtime wins. It's like they've only lost once or twice in overtime.
They've only lost twice in overtime.
And every time they get to overtime, they're just playing. They're just winning. They're just like.
Well, I don't know if that's here, but they are killing it in overtime. And they always had. That was the one thing that they did have.
They were good.
That at least brought them to equal points to games played last year, which is a little under 500 for the NFL or NHL because of the way the overtime loss works.
Yeah.
So that's about being like a 7-9 team if you're even on points and games played.
Yeah.
To make a football analogy, most people understand football standings better than anything else. They have had several big comebacks. They had a 3-goal comeback the other week,
against
and
the
then
Blackhawks, right?
No, against the Blackhawks, they had a 4-goal comeback and they won by 2.
Yeah, 7-5.
They were down 5-1 or 4-0, and they won 7-5. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was an absolutely insane comeback. And Nico Hershier is absolutely demolishing.
Love him.
He's
I love
absolutely him. And Matt Barzal is killing it as well. You have 2 rookies that are absolutely demolishing.
I want to say cheers to Boyle for beating cancer, coming back and playing though. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Good for
cheers
him.
to him.
Yeah, seriously, that's awesome.
And now my Islanders, they are looking like their typical. We are a solid professional team that sometimes can make the playoffs. But they're not doing anything special. Everyone's worried about Tavares leaving next year, and I'm pretty worried too. Because if we don't get anything good back for him, we might start skidding. Mm-hmm. And they say a lot of it hinges on not even their play, but the arena situation. They're gonna leave the Barclays sometime soon. They're looking to make an arena by the Belmont racetrack and have their own home, which is in Queens.
Well, because originally they were supposed to rebuild Nassau, which they still are, but they're not making it.
They're not making it. They restructured
But aren't they playing
Nassau.
3 games in Nassau this year or something like that?
They played a couple. They're playing a couple for scheduling reasons. But Nassau came back.
It's such a terrible arena. It's a problem.
You know, it's nice now, but they don't have. They took some seats out to make it nice. That they want it more as a concert arena now.
Yeah.
So it's it's Nassau Coliseum's still around. It will hold them if they want. And they might have to do a year or so there again with only. I mean, they wouldn't have anywhere near the fans that they're expecting. They wouldn't even be able to fill the fans that come to Brooklyn.
They expected this big influx when they went to Brooklyn to bring all these Brooklyn people here. But you go into the city, it's Rangers territory.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
And I mean,
and plus these people from the island aren't going all the way out to Brooklyn to play.
No, Queens is still Islanders territory. Brooklyn's still a little more Rangers, but you'll find more Islander fans in Brooklyn than you will in Manhattan or the Bronx or Staten Island.
Yeah.
But Queens and the 2 boroughs, the 2 counties out in Long Island are their home. And once going back to at least Queens and Belmont would be smart for them. That would be where they hit those Islander Met Jet fans. You know what I mean?
It's just you move so much. It's like the fans are just like sick
In the
of this
last
stuff.
couple of years, they're not going to like it. Yeah, they didn't move for the entire beginning
not
of
even
their
that, the
history, and now it
players.
looks like they're going to move a couple of times in,
The
the,
players
in,
probably
the,
aren't
in these
happy with
last
it
few
either,
years.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But
I guess
they're still doing good. They're holding off. The Rangers are
And the
making
Rangers
a push.
are on. Yeah, they're getting.
The Rangers are making a
what,
push.
6 straight.
Yeah, we are holding basically a game in hand. We are 9 wins, 6 losses, 2 in overtime. They are 9 wins, 7 losses, 2 in overtime.
Right.
That one loss is a loss to us. So at least I like to think of it that way. So they, we're still an edge over the Rangers, which always makes me happy. The Rangers are sitting as the best of the rest in the East.
Either
and we're
way,
sitting
you
as
look
the
at
worst
it,
playoff team in the East.
Since football is terrible in New York, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Hockey looks really good
Hockey's
right
looking
now.
all right. Islanders and Devils
So-
representing. Rangers aren't terrible.
The
as
Rangers
much
are
as
starting to look good.
Yeah,
so
yeah. So it's definitely hockey is
definitely pick me up for the area. Because,
yeah, for
I mean, the Yankees
sure.
played well too. So I mean, just because the Giants and Jets are down the Jets have been down for a while, but just everybody's down right now
Right.
in the NFL. They're still the pick me
absolutely.
up. I mean, the Garden's still electric. I mean, we're not really gonna talk about the NBA right now because there's not too much to talk about. But the Knicks are actually
They're
starting to
looking
look
okay.
good. I
Porzingis
think
looks like the right decision
the
for sure.
Garden was electric last night, and so that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, but absolutely,
So-
hockey's bringing this area back up a little bit for sure.
Absolutely.
The West, I mean, it's pretty much the same stories as all season. Las Vegas is surprisingly competitive for being a expansion team.
I think
They're
they got some
sitting
good
at-
players in that
They do.
expansion.
They do. They're sitting at second in the Pacific right now, only behind the Kings. St. Louis is killing it.
Kings just perennially good.
And Arizona is still horrible, but they're at least putting some overtime losses and some wins on the board since you gave them Wedgwood over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, the Devils literally helping out more than just themselves this year. It's pretty insane.
They got their first win after.
They were 10-1 or something, and now they're 2-14-3, which means they're 2-2-2 since they got Wedgwood. They won 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 in overtime. That's a much better pace than they've been doing. That's that 500 to the point standings pace.
Yeah.
That's significantly better than can't win anything. So I mean, they at least made themselves some kind of a professional franchise instead of barely being a college team and playing in the pros.
I mean, there's still a lot to go.
There's plenty. We're not
There's a
even
whole
quite a
season
quarter
left.
of the season in. So
Still a season left, but it's good to see them doing good.
absolutely. So what do you got to talk about now, Greg?
In other news across the world, I know a couple weeks ago it was shocking to everybody. The USA did not qualify for the World Cup.
Unbelievable.
Really disappointing. Kind of sucks.
Some even crazier
last
craziness, huh?
last night we found out that Italy is also not qualifying for the
They
World
lost
Cup.
to Switzerland, right?
I think it was, and but the thing, because Switzerland's in there.
Yeah.
Italy fans apparently are saying they're happy that they're not in there. They said we don't, because Italy fans are so they're legit. They're like, you know what? They don't deserve it. I'm glad I can just stay home now. I don't, you know what I mean? They're like, so that's crazy. But there's some teams who qualified like in the World Cup this year. It's gonna be interesting. Like, I guess I'm still gonna watch it. It sucks that USA's not gonna be in it, but already qualified: Argentina, Belgium, Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, Croatia, Egypt.
That's
Egypt's in there.
one. Okay.
England, France, Germany,
Did
Iceland,
Ireland make it?
Iran,
Not Ireland.
Japan. No, they're playing. So hold on. Mexico, Morocco, Nigeria,
Morocco, hell yeah.
Panama, Poland.
Okay.
Poland gets in there. That's pretty crazy. Portugal, Russia, the other hosts. Saudi Arabia,
Interesting.
Senegal, Serbia,
Well, this is a
South Korea,
okay.
Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Tunisia,
I
and
think Tunisia was in at least one of them recently.
and Uruguay. So Denmark on November. What's today's date?
The 14th.
Today, Denmark plays the Republic of Ireland. I think this is the final game to see who gets in. So that's pretty cool.
Up the Irish. Up the Irish.
Which is really cool.
With Italy, it's the first time since 1958, so they've kind of been a staple of the World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely, they have. I mean,
Yeah,
they
they won it.
They won a couple years ago.
ago.
Yeah. Oh, November 15th, tomorrow, Honduras versus Australia,
Okay.
which is pretty cool. The day after that, New Zealand versus Peru, which they're kind of perennials.
What time is that Ireland game? I kind of want to see if we could watch that at some point. That'd be dope.
We could probably get it at my place.
Yeah.
I could definitely probably find it. But that's really crazy. I think what do you think so Italy out, USA out. What do you think the ratings drop?
They're definitely going to. No one's going to care in America. No one cares in America almost anyway. Hardly anyone cares in America anyway. They are definitely going to drop in America. Italy will watch.
Of course they will, because
they're not going to watch. Yeah, they're not going to watch as much.
Well, because you know why?
They'll probably follow their individual
players
from their
clubs.
teams.
Yep, exactly.
So they'll follow that.
But USA, it's like we don't give a shit if we're not in it. But when we're in it, there's never more like patriotism ever. Like I went to New York 2 years ago with my best friend.
Yeah.
To go watch when we I forgot who we beat, but we beat in the second round. And it was great. And I went to a bar in New York City, and I have to say,
when we won the group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I gotta tell you, that's probably one of the most fun days I've ever had in my entire life. New York, we're standing on the bars, and everyone's going nuts. Every bar on every block is just packed with soccer, like not even soccer fans, just Americans, just being like, "Let's go, let's beat everybody," and it was so much fun.
That's great. 2 tournaments ago, we were a group champion. You know, and now we're not even.
The thing is, our
U23
team or U24 team is really good. The young kids are good, but Christian Pulisic, who plays for Dortmund, he came out yesterday and said that these players are just purely not being conditioned enough, and these teenagers in America are just not being trained well enough. And he's the best. He's like the best upcoming player.
Well,
so
get him running.
I guess you gotta stick with that. Stick what he says. I mean, he's the one who's doing it right. So it's crazy. I think the ratings will be down a little bit on this side of the map. But the thing is, you still got the perennial guys like Spain, Colombia, all these guys.
My thing is, though, that around the world, I don't think the ratings are going to drop because these smaller countries, when they make it, everybody tunes in. So and go. So you lose the American fans, which is
but the weird thing is in Russia, so USA's not playing in Russia.
Yeah, well, I'm not complaining
about
that.
So crazy.
So
I was reading that the ratings have gone up in years past because America's been in it, but now,
and they've been competitive. That's the crazy.
But now that we're not going to be, we're not even in it. So
a lot of articles are talking about how they're afraid that the ratings are going to hurt the stations that are broadcasting it.
I mean, it's gonna.
That's what he was getting.
In America.
I think it's what you were getting at. It's going to be the American stations that suffer from the downfall.
Yeah,
they're not
the rest of the world is going to be fine, especially the littler countries where every single person in the country, the worldwide ratings won't drop, but the American ratings absolutely will. Italy
100%.
maybe a little bit. I think these tiny countries that make it, as opposed to an America or Italy, are going to be pumped, and everyone's
Poland.
So they're going to be
wild.
Pumped. They're going to be pumped.
Wow. Hey, maybe I should. I'm going to
getting wild. I'm getting wild in Poland anyway right now.
I'm Polish. I'm going to get that kibasi and those pierogies ready, and I'm going to sit in front of the TV and watch them play.
Oh man, it'd be, and how cool would it be? Now you are both Irish and Polish.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm pretty much just an Irish American. So I would love if America's not in it, I'd love for Ireland to be in it. It'd be great to see them two face off. That'd be a cool.
Hell yeah.
That'd be a game that we should watch for sure.
It would be great. So that's cool. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. World Cup getting interesting.
So
it hasn't even started yet, and it's already interesting.
Absolutely, which is kind of cool actually. So a little off the wall. We're going to WWE, so it's getting really interesting. Survivor Series is this Sunday, which is the time after the brand split when they do Raw and SmackDown. Mm-hmm. It's the time where they compete against each other. So each champion competes against each other, and then there's a 5-person elimination match with the men and a 5-person elimination match with the women.
Okay.
So Kurt Angle got named the captain of the Raw team, even though he's a general manager, to be the. He's going to wrestle.
He's going to wrestle, yeah.
And now Shane McMahon, because of that, Shane McMahon said, I'm going to be the captain.
Yeah.
I'm going to wrestle.
There you go.
So, okay. So that's pretty cool. So the Raw team ends up being Kurt Angle, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe.
Love him.
Braun Strowman.
Okay.
Originally, Kurt Angle picks Jason Jordan, which in the storyline, Jason Jordan is his long-lost son from a love that Kurt Angle had in his college days.
Yeah.
Right? So so he picks him, I trust nobody more to you.
How old is Kurt Angle at that point where they're having that type of story?
Kurt Angle is like 40s.
So you keep on going. I'll look that up.
All right. So all right.
Oh, we got Nikki Smalls on it.
So
48.
Last night, Stephanie McMahon comes out and says, like, pretty much says she's going to fire Kurt Angle.
Okay.
And Shield comes out and says, like, you can't. He's the best leader we had. So then they get into it, and she says, you got to prove yourself pretty much. So he says, Finn Balor, since you and Samoa Joe beat the shit out of each other last week, you guys are going to have to tag up against Anderson and Gallows. And if you could coexist, you'll still be on the team. And then he said to his son, Jason Jordan, he says, you're going to have to face one of the most sadistic people in the lineup. You're going to have to face Bray Wyatt. And that was Bray Wyatt's comeback match. Finn Balor and Joe, they hated each other. They got a little scuff before it, but then they teamed up really well and destroyed Anderson and Gallows. It was cool. Jason Jordan faced Bray Wyatt. He ends up beating him with, like, one of the Sunset Schoolboys.
Okay.
Right?
Old school.
And then Bray Wyatt attacks him and attacks his leg and his knee. Injury.
So now he's hurt.
So he's hurt, but he's saying, Kurt, don't put me out of the match. He's like, I can't let you. But so, a couple minutes later, Kurt Angle comes out to the ring, says, listen, my son, Jace Jordan's hurt. He can't compete. And Jace Jordan comes out crying, playing the act. I gotta compete. Don't do this to me. I did everything for you, Dad. Crying, all that shit. And so Stephanie McMahon goes outside. She goes, give me a break. She goes, make the announcement and make it now or you're fired. So it looks like Kurt's going to make an announcement, and he's like pausing. Time to play the game. Triple H music hits. The place erupts, yeah. And Triple H comes out and says, you ain't going to make the damn announcement? I am. I'm the fifth member of the Raw team. And then he's looking at Kurt, and Kurt's like, and he's like, is that okay? And he's like, yeah. And he goes, okay. And he walks over to his son, Jace Jordan, and pedigrees him.
Oh.
And it was really good. So a week before that, Shane McMahon, the SmackDown team is Shane McMahon, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, Randy Orton.
Okay.
Originally, it was going to be between Rusev and AJ Styles.
Okay.
So, but what happened was they gave AJ Styles a championship match against Jinder Mahal. AJ Styles won. He is now the world champion, which is awesome. I love AJ Styles. So he had to make a fifth member. It's John Cena. So there's so much nostalgia in this match. So you have, I think Triple H is a 14-time champion. Randy Orton is a 13-time champion. John Cena is a 16-time champion.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle, I don't even know how many times he won, but think about it. You could get Kurt Angle is going to be in the. You're going to get Triple H in the ring with his brother-in-law Shane McMahon. You know what I mean? You're going to get all these crazy matchups, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see where it's going. They qualified. They cemented the Shield, who's reunited, versus the New Day. That's going to be awesome. The women.
That's going to be.
Kurt Angle has won 13 world championships.
That's it.
21 total.
So it's 13.
Okay.
It's 13. Oh, well, depends if it's WWE's, though. Because he won world championships at TNA, unless that's...
He won at least one there, but I think what they usually try to say in that is, like, it'll be tag championships or the Intercontinental Championship or, something else like that.
But the women one is going to be really good, too. The SmackDown side, you got Becky Lynch is the captain.
Okay.
Then you got Charlotte Flair.
They do a 5-on-5 men's and a 5-on-5 women's? Awesome.
Charlotte Flair.
Awesome.
Naomi and Carmella, who's Miss Money in the Bank. And then on the Raw side is Alicia Fox is the captain. It's Alicia Fox, Nia Jax, Asuka, who's awesome.
Nia Jax is the big.
Asuka just got ranked in the ratings from, I think it was Pro Wrestler Insider, the best women in the world.
PWI,
number one.
Really?
Yeah.
PWI
Charlotte's
is on point.
3.
I used to read that every week.
And then Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Okay.
But a lot of people are saying Paige return. Who knows? But either way, and then it's the tag champs Raw, which is Sheamus and Cesaro versus the Usos on SmackDown. And then it's the USA champ on SmackDown versus Intercontinental champ. So it's the Miz versus Baron Corbin.
Okay.
And then I think that's it. And then Shield New Day. It's gonna be really good.
I'm gonna have to try to watch that.
I'm watching on Sunday, so come over. We're making a pot of sauce.
Let's do it.
We're gonna watch Survivor Series.
Let's do it. I am excited for the Shield New Day. That's gonna be a good one. And the 5-on-5 Raw vs SmackDown, I'm a little torn because I love Shane McMahon, but I don't like most of the rest of the people on the team. I'm not a big John Cena, Randy Orton guy, but I hate Triple H. And I love Finn Balor on Raw, so I'm just gonna watch that in interest.
I guess that goes to me too. I don't really like Samoa Joe. but
I like Samoa Joe because
in TNA when he was the champion forever.
Well, because I was always more of the. It's not that I never followed the WWF, but I always followed the other guys. I followed TNA, WCW, ECW more. So Samoa Joe was a guy that I watched come up, you know, and he's a stud. He is definitely a stud, Samoa Joe.
So yeah,
I can understand maybe in the storylines. I don't know how they've been using him too much in the WWF. I mostly just watch when I come over watch with you, mostly the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
But no, that sounds exciting.
It's gonna
sounds
be fun.
like a good
So
one.
either way, we'll watch the Survivor Series. We'll get back to you guys who are wrestling fans with us.
Absolutely.
So that's it, man. So we'll wrap that up. We'll take a quick little break, and we're gonna wrap this whole thing up for you guys.
It's got a couple of high school call-outs and everything, and yeah.
So we'll see you guys in a minute.
So today's high school shout out is it is a local boy. Caught my eye. Arthur Sitkowski, the quarterback for the Old Bridge Knights, has just signed.
Right around the corner over here.
Yeah, right around the corner, a couple towns away from us. Has just committed to Rutgers University, so he will go he will go from the Old Bridge Knights to the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Throw it to a Knights.
This is a big deal for Rutgers because they seem to have at least later in the year. Yeah, those Bud Lights were they're solid. Yeah, it's supposed to be a twist off. Anyway, so basically, it seems that Rutgers has shored up their defense, and their running game is pretty solid, but their passing game has been deplorable, and that's what's holding them back. And this might really help.
So you showed me that this kid was wanted by a lot of people.
A lot of schools.
So why don't you list them off so people can see what this...
So everybody...
There was a vote.
Okay, so they had a bit of a... On 24/7 Sports over here, they had a bit of a vote on where this kid would go before he actually committed to someone.
But why don't you read off the list of these people who offered?
Well, we're going to start with it. 83% of people thought he was going to go to Miami. They're number 2 in the nation right now. They just destroyed Notre Dame. You would think
they're a contender for a national title.
Yeah, so you'd think he'd want to go there, but he stuck with Rutgers, which was the second biggest vote. But some of these other teams, besides Miami and Rutgers, the University of Florida Gators wanted him, the Duke Blue Devils, Indiana, Iowa, Louisville, LSU, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, North and South Carolina. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. North Carolina State and North Carolina.
Yep.
Ohio State, Ole Miss, Purdue. Oh, no, South Carolina's in there. Look at that. Syracuse, Temple, Tennessee, UCLA, Virginia Tech, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Sparty, Michigan State, and Penn State. It's absolutely unbelievable. This kid is one of the legit quarterbacks.
Yeah, so...
They have him ranked as the number 5 pro-style quarterback in the entire country.
That's how we run. We run pro.
Yeah, no, actually, Jerry Kill has switched us to the spread, but it's almost like we have this weird Big Ten version of the spread where it's still run heavy, but it's way more spread than we would normally do. So a pro-style quarterback can work. They might even... Jerry Kill has the talent to be able to switch this
So he's a hard
over.
commit. So
he's a hard commit. So basically, he just hasn't signed the paperwork, but he has absolutely come out and said, I'm going to Rutgers. And now, from what I hear, he's even trying to recruit some of his... This is how you know he's not going to switch, because he's actually recruiting other people to Rutgers at this point. He's recruiting 1 or 2 of his favorite wide receivers from Old Bridge to have familiar targets for himself, even if he doesn't have big stars.
Well, to sound confident, this kid, he tweeted, we just looked up on his Twitter, he writes, I want to thank Coach Rick and his staff for believing in me, giving me an opportunity to play football at the next level, as well as their continuous support. I've had many sleepless and thoughtful nights throughout this process, and I'm ready to turn a new page for the next chapter of my life. In my heart, I believe that I cannot let down the opportunity to play for my hometown school slip past me. I believe in this program. I am announcing today my commitment to Rutgers University. I believe that Coach Ash and Coach Kill and this great university will help me fulfill all of my dreams and aspirations. It has been a dream of mine to rep my home state. Thank you to everyone that has helped me in this process. So that was him thanking Miami for everything and then believing him, but saying, you know what, I want to play for my home state. Let's go NJ.
And that's huge. If that helps us get our passing game in check.
Well, I remember us talking about Rutgers, and I was telling you, I just don't think Ash has it right now, and this recruitment has been terrible, but if that's the start of it, I think we're in a good shape.
You know, that's the biggest addition they've had in a long time. And like I said, they are currently sitting at only 3-4 in the Big Ten, and they're 4-6 overall. The season picked up considerably compared to where we thought they were going to go, and they have clearly built themselves a foundation. The defense has figured out how to play, even though there's some serious injuries, and the running game is the shining star of the offense. If they can get the pass game going and keep the stability that they've had on those two things, we can actually contend again and actually have a winning record in the Big Ten again.
So
and, I'm not saying national title. I'm not saying knock off Sparty and the Buckeyes.
But play.
But play. You know.
So for so many years, me and you have been talking about, I think our biggest problem, a lot of people would agree, I think, is that Rutgers has a hard time keeping hometown talent.
They
home.
do.
And New Jersey does produce a ton of great football players.
Huge for that.
So if this kid could come here and play ball and do good in the Big Ten and make some noise, maybe it attracts some more players and it helps us out.
And you know the high school players know about them. You know what I mean? They're one of the better teams in the state. They're sitting at 7-2 overall, Old Bridge. 5-1 in their division. They just knocked off Trenton 24-6.
Yeah.
So they know, you know, the local kids know them, and they're going to follow. A little off topic,
but with the same school and same idea, is that the Rutgers wrestling team was never great. They were good, but they were never great. They're a Division I team, but they always were just okay. But so Goodale goes there from Jackson. He starts recruiting hometown talent. Guy who's a 4-time undefeated state champion, Anthony Ashton, stays home. He stays home, and guess what? Everyone's like, and they start competing. Like, oh, let me stay home. Nick Suriano, who's now ranked on Intermat last week, is number 2 in the country. He decided to leave Penn State and get released and come to Rutgers and play for his home and wrestle for his hometown state. So guess what? You know what? That just proves hometown talent and now representing your hometown. It's the pride.
Rutgers football has had the opposite problem. They had a Saquon Barkley and let Penn State get them. You know what I mean? And that offensive
the offensive lineman from New Jersey went to Michigan.
Right. And that's exactly it. So, like you said with Goodale, for those that don't know, Coach Goodale was the coach of Jackson. He got them up to number 6 or 7 in the nation as a high school wrestling team.
They were one of the best. When they were with him, they were one of the best programs in the country.
Yeah, it's the same concept around here. Is that if you're going to have local talent stay, you need to make a splash first. You need a name that they know. The kids around here know.
That was the only negative problem I had with Shiano, is that he was so tied with Florida that he was going down and recruiting there instead of focusing that in New Jersey. This talent is right here.
You could have had both. You know, you could have had both, and you didn't do. You left one of those pieces out.
It is what it is. So so shout out or cheers it off to
Artur Sitkowski.
Go RU, bro.
RU, rah.
So thanks, guys, for listening to another week of Never Eat Soggy Waffles.
Don't eat them. They're soggy. Don't eat them.
Gross, dude. But this is our direction now. It's going to be all video from here on out. Nick entered here and really turned it around for us. So the momentum is building, so I hope you guys stick with us, keep staying tuned, and we're going to keep bringing you the best content we can every week.
Every single week.
So, all right. Cheers to all you guys.
Cheers.
Thanks so much.